Alright guys, this first plot I'm going to show you is a plot that we call the pine tree plot. Very successful in the past for us. We've killed a lot of deer in this spot. I've actually killed 4 or 5 deer out of this spot. We added a stand over here that we put a blind on top of during the season. But last year this was brassicas, and we spread in some clover seed with the brassicas. And brassica is a 1-year crop. So we actually frost seeded some clover in here with this crimson clover earlier this year that we showed you in our first episode this season. And the frost seed didn't really take. It didn't do so well. There's a few patches I'll show you right here that actually did come up this year. But overall, we didn't get a very good result with our frost seeding. But our local buddy, Gene Miller, who's basically the master of food plots, came over here and sprayed this about a week and a half ago with some grass out, because we had a lot of grass growing in the food plot. As you can see now, I'll show you the plot. The crimson clover looks pretty good. It's coming up pretty thick. You can see where the grass is all dying out and turning brown. So the next step for this plot is going to be to actually spray for some broadleafs. We got to wait until we get some drier weather, because it has been raining monsoon here in Northeast Ohio, and not really anybody can get out in the field. So once we get some drier weather, we'll spray for these broadleafs. But I'll show you a couple more spots where the frost seed came up. Not too bad, but it would really be helped with some sunshine. Sunshine would really do good for this plot. But we have a lot of plans for this fall in this area. You can see some of this stuff's been browsed off pretty good, but there's actually a bare spot over here on the east side that we're going to put brassicas in, or turnips later this year, maybe even sugar beets. And we're going to plant some killer food plots, border patrol around it, but we got to wait till the grasses die out and the ground to dry out. But that spot's all ready. We got a trail camera here to check, see what's been used in this plot, but we're pretty excited for this one in the future. Alright guys, this is a plot that we call the Seafield plot. Last year it was planted in brassicas, and it did okay, but it didn't do as good as we wanted to do. So this year we changed it up and we put the Resurrection Clover and the Whitetail Institute Chick Magnet in here. And as you can see, it was planted on April 25th. It has germinated well. We've got a little patchy spots, obviously some spots that were seeded heavier than others. But we do have a little bit of a grass problem we're going to have to worry about with the mowing. The only way to get rid of it's the mowing, because we have the clover planted in here, or the chicory planted in here. But we're pretty excited about this plot. There's supposed to be corn all around it this year. That's the plan anyways by the farmer. But as you can see, the chicory and the clover is coming up pretty good. Thicker in some spots than others, but we really can't complain about this kind of germination with the weather we've had. It hasn't been really sunny, so we haven't been able to get a lot of good growing days, but this plot should be one of the hotter ones we have on the farm this fall, so pretty excited about it. Okay, this little plot behind me here is throw and grow plot that we planted last year. We didn't do anything to it at all this year, and it's basically just ryegrass now at this point, but it gets a little bit of sunlight and the deer move through here. We have a mineral lick over here on the other side in this corner that gets a lot of use, so we're going to leave this one in ryegrass this year, maybe mow it a couple times, and keep it green, keep it for the deer, and hopefully it becomes a pretty good spot on the farm. Alright guys, here we are on another project plot for 2017. This is going to be a new plot this year. Not quite sure what we're going to plant here yet. It still needs a lot of work. It still has a lot of water in it and moisture, just like all our other plots. So we're not going to be able to plant this one for a while. But this area in the past has primarily been used as a bedding area by the deer. But the reason we are taking it out of bedding and turning it into food is because they've used it to watch our entry and exit routes from the farm. We park only about 50-60 yards from this spot when we come in the mornings, and they've used it for years and years and years to kind of keep an eye on us as we enter and exit the woods. Even this year when we've come over here to work on this plot, we've kicked up deer that have been bedding out of this thicket here behind us. But we're going to turn it to something we can probably hunt in the late season, probably brassicas or sugar beets, turnips, something of that nature. And as you can see, there's some pretty well established deer trails through it. It's going to require a lot of work to finish up the next probably month and a half. This might be the last plot that we actually plant this year, but in the long run, especially in the late season with crop fields all around us, hopefully there's corn planted, we'll be able to sneak in and out of this stand setup and get set up without putting any pressure on the woods. We'll still be able to hunt. Most of the winds come out of the northwest, which is perfect for this spot, and it should be a little honey hole, especially later in the year once the crops come off. So we're pretty excited to see how it turns out. If the experiment fails and it results in less deer being seen and less deer bedding on the property, we can always just let it go and it'll turn right back into thorns and briars and probably even a thicker bedding area next year. So this is going to be a 1 or 2 year experiment. Hopefully it goes the way we want it to go, and if not, it can revert back to its old form. Alright guys, I want to give a quick update on the junkyard plot, which is a new plot for this year. As you can see, before we came in here, it was all grown up, all the flory rows, brush, real thick deer bedding area, and the goal is to turn this into a quick little food plot that we can hunt on short notice. We don't have a lot of time. Access is going to be real easy in and out of here. It gets a lot of sunlight, as you can see. There is a lot of open canopy here. We're pretty excited about this one. It still needs a lot of work. As you can see, the backside here all needs chopped down still and burned. It's a work in progress. This will probably be one of the last plots that we plant on the farm. We're going to put a late season blend here. So hopefully in the next couple weeks this will die out, because I sprayed it today. Good day for Roundup. Hopefully it dies out in the next couple weeks and we can get in here and start ripping up some ground. I got these brush piles to burn, and then we'll probably burn off as much as we can of the dead vegetation. But we're pretty excited about this spot. I think this brings our food plot total on this farm to 9 or 10. So we have a lot of plots planted this year, and we're excited to watch their progress. Alright guys, behind me here is a plot that we planted on May 18th, and it's the 27th today, with Killer Food Plots blend of Resurrection Clover and Whitetail Institute Chick Magnets. This is the first time we've ever planted chicory on this farm. For the last 2 years, this plot has basically just been horse grass, ryegrass, whatever you want to call it. We planted brassicas in here last year early, and they popped up pretty good, but we ended up mowing them off and kind of letting them die out late summer because they didn't have any bulbs on them. It was just leaves, and the plot never really recovered. We probably should have put more time into it, but we didn't. But Spaniel did get a nice shot at a mature buck here last year, so we know it's a good spot on the farm. I got a big mineral lick right here, which is brand new for this year, that's been really being hammered by the deer. We can show you some pictures. We haven't set up any of our cameras on video on any of these mineral licks yet, but we got a water hole here behind me, as you can see. We got our permanent stand back there behind us, which is great for hunting over food plots, especially early and late season. Early season when there's going to be a lot of deer around, late season when you don't have any cover in the trees to cover you for drawing and stuff. So it worked out good for us. This plot is very rocky. It used to be a pad for drilling. The well actually has a stick in it over there, so we don't run it over with the tractor. But as you can see, I'll show you here, very rocky soil. Which there's not much we can really do about that. It's just the lay of the land. If you look closely in a couple spots, there is some germination going on, not a very lot. As you can see, there's obviously a lot of water still, moisture in this plot. So hopefully in the next couple weeks things dry up and this one can start making a jump. But if it doesn't, it's going to be probably washed out and we'll have to replant it later. Hopefully we don't have to do that, but we'll see what it brings.